Hi, Pete Moore, Mart TV, and welcome to 2023. Let's hope it's a better one. Okay, it's the first gun test of the year. It's not really gun test per se. It's my thoughts on rim fires. I've got two rim fires here, pretty much represent two milestones in the job. First of all, is Ruger's M77 22 from their Rimfire 77 series. Very nice indeed. They first produced them in 1983. I think I picked this gun up in around about 2000. So it's about, I've had it for some 18, 20 years. Done a lot of ammo testing, and a lot of bunny bashing. Nice rifle. It represents a time when guns were made slightly differently. By comparison, at the front is my Tikka T1x. Again, good little rimfire, their first gun, very nice indeed. That appeared in 2018. I bought one, I think it was around about 2020, so I had it in nearly 2 years. And as we shall see, though they do the same job, being bolt action hunters, they are quite different in their approach. And what I've done, I've shot these things with 4 different ammunition loads. RWS subsonic hollow point 40 grain, RWS high velocity hollow point 40 grain, RWS special match, which is a match type precision load, and my favourite bunny bashing load, the Winchester subsonic 42 grain max. 2 grains heavier, and it is a cracking little round. So let's just talk about these two in a little bit more detail, and then we'll get on to the testing. Okay, so what we got? Well, certainly aged for beauty. Ruger M77. It's basically a slightly scaled down version of their full bore 77 series. Same safety catch, same stock, that sort of thing, and it's quite nice. It's a good transitional gun. I've got Rugers at home, and it's nice to have a gun that's almost the same feel and shape regardless of the caliber. It's nothing too radical. This one is the walnut stock version with a nice bit of checkering. There are other options on stocks and things like that. Typical low comb, medium length of pull. The action locks in the middle, has a 3-position safety catch. That is fire. That is safe with bolt operation. That is safe. Total lock, as you can see, the safety catch actually locks the striker. 20-inch barrel head came from the factory, a bit long for a 22LR, but I've never really bothered getting it cut because it does the job. Trigger is non-adjustable. It comes from the box, not bad, a little firm. I've dropped in an aftermarket trigger for it, which is adjustable. It does bring the weight down very nicely, and also it improves actually no end. The Ruger comes with rings that fit in dedicated bases here. You can get them in 1 inch and 30mm in low, medium and high, and unusually the 77 rimfire series has 3 mounting points for the scope rather than 2 on the centerfire. Magazine is a rotary box, fits flush, and it has a rather awkward square flush fit release catch. It's not the easiest thing to operate, but that's really the rifle. So it's been around the blocks, done a bit, and it represents sort of a bygone age because Ruger have discontinued this rifle now. They still make this model, but in the 17 Hornet, 17 WSM and 22 Magnum, but they don't do it in rimfire. They leave that to their American rimfire series. Price wise, I think when I got mine it was around 550, 600 thereabouts. Twice the price of a comparable CZ452. Never a cheap gun. Okay, the Tikka represents a very different approach. So first designed and produced in 2018. It uses the Tikka T3 side action, though obviously it's cut back to take a rimfire. The actual bit that engages inside is the same dimensions as the centerfire gun, so you can just drop this into any chassis or stock system that supports the T3. At home I've got a GRS Bifrost stock for a T3. When I want to do a bit more long-rangey shooting with this, I put it in that because it's fully adjustable. The stock is quite basic. It's a moulded plastic, noisy. You knock the back and it makes that horrible clunking noisy sound, and it's a bit on the short side. I think the length of pull is probably 13 inches. It's about 1.5 inches too short for me. The grip's a bit skinny, as is the forend. These grey sections here are aftermarket from Tikka, and they replace the pistol grip. and they bolt onto the fore end, and they just give you a bit more girth. And I say I got those right away. Very useful indeed. The barrel is 20 inches, and they call it MTR, multitask rifle. It's sort of medium heavy, and it's designed to allow you to have like a rabbit gun, and maybe something you can push a bit further out with accuracy. Again, not a bad idea compared to the Ruger's barrel, which is, you know, sort of a real sporting weight tube. Feed is from a 10-round magazine, single staggered column with a release catch at the front. The release catch is much nicer, mags pop away clean. Trigger guard is plastic, not keen on that. The trigger is adjustable by a single screw for weight, and that does help. The bolt, again, standard rimfire type bolt. And at the back here is a cocked action indicator in red and a safety catch. In that position it's fire, then you pull it back and it's in safe mode, and you just push forward. What I also fitted to help out the short length of pull, because the gun comes with a shiny plastic butt plate, which is not particularly good for shoulder adhesion, and the gun does slip around a bit. So what I bought is 4 T3 spacers and a T3 recoil pad, which gives you probably an extra 1.5 inches or thereabouts, and it really locks it into your shoulder. Also, because the comb is quite low, I've got a Calyx Technics adjustable height comb. It's not from Tikka, but it's designed for a whole range of rifles. They take about, I don't know, 15-20 minutes to fit. There's a video on it if you want to go back at the website. And again, it gives you a nice bit of support, and if you want to put something on it other than just a straight scope. On that point, there's like a 12mm dovetail on the receiver bridges, but I got a Britannia rails, 0 MOA Picatinny rail that just bolts straight on, which I like, so it gives me much more leeway for optics. But there they are. Price wise, the Tikka, I think now, without anything on it like the extra bolt-on furniture, the comb or the pad and the spacers, is about, I think, about $650-ish. I don't know, because the price go up all the time. So that's still quite cheap. But they do make this version with a fully adjustable, I think it's a fiberglass stock, which is again quite nice. But the problem is that humps the price up to about £1,000. So, you know, it swings and roundabouts. I would sooner buy the bits and put it on than do that, but that's it. But they are, you know, modern and old, they're separated by a fair bit of time, as you can appreciate. Just do the math. So, right, let's look at what we've been shooting and why. Okay, here are all the targets shot, the loads. At the end, I'll give all the actual facts and figures. But I think we can clearly see that the newer Tikka, to a degree, outshoots the M77. Probably the most comparison groups are the Winchester 42 grain Max sub in each case. A similar shape, slightly different in orientation, but that's interesting. What I did, I checked velocity on these and energy. I didn't want to do it for all of them, because this is in my opinion, this load here is a real good killer. So from the Ruger, you're getting a high of 1062 feet per second, a low of 1043, and an average of 1050 feet per second. Standard deviation is 7.4 feet per second, which is not too bad for a rimfire, with an energy figure of 103 foot-pounds, which for a sub is not bad. The Tikka, this one here, was high velocity of 1057, a low of 1033, and an average of 1046 feet per second. Standard deviation was 10, again very close, an energy of 102 foot-pounds. So, in my opinion, the heavier load, from my experience for a long time using it, certainly does seem to bring home the bacon just that bit more. So I hope you found it interesting. I certainly did. Given the age gap between the guns, probably sort of what I'd say 20 odd years, maybe a bit more. The Ruger obviously had a lot more shots through it than the Tikka has. I think the Tikka did prove itself from the targets as a more accurate rifle, generally speaking. If you enjoyed that, tell your friends, support the website. Need to speak about anything, it's the usual thing, pmore.shootingsports@gmail.com. And I hope to see you again soon.